Welcome to the July 2025 City of York Zoning Board meeting. You are before the Planning Commission prior to today, and that is what brought you now before this board. We take the recommendation into our consideration, but our vote is on our own decision and merit. Please silence your cell phones at this time. You will have the opportunity to come to the mic and be heard. Please speak directly towards the mic so our stenographer may hear you. The stenographer must document all information, so we ask that you only speak one at a time. Our introduction of the board: to my right and your left, three of us, and we have Lester Abbott Jr., and we have Nick Holman, and he is our vice president, and then Sam Jenkins, president. We have our solicitor, Andy Harold, and we have our stenographer, Christine, and could you say her name? Myers. Thank you. Okay. Anyone who plans to bring any information to a case, we ask that you will please stand to be sworn in. Please raise your dominant hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you? Please respond by saying I do. Thank you. Please note all present in the gallery at this time to speak tonight have been sworn in. Sir Solicitor, would you please read our first case?
Sure. Thank you, Ms. Jenkins. The first case is a holdover from last month. By way of reminder, this is case number 16-2025-Z-B/SE. The applicant and owner of the subject property is Young and Ida Kwan of 3660 Coventry Court, York, Pennsylvania. The subject property is located at 300 East King Street, which address is located in the UN2 Urban Residential Neighborhood Zoning District of the City of York. Applicant wishes to permit the subject property to be used as a commercial combined apartment use with apartments on both the second and third floor. The record that was before the board last month, that was before the board this month, consists of a letter from CGA Law Firm, the application itself, the deed to the subject property, an appeal of the zoning officer determination, 4 photos of the subject property, 4 hand-drawn floor plans of the subject property, and an aerial view of the subject property. I would note that all members that are here today were also here last month and heard the testimony provided. So it's my opinion that all of the members can participate here tonight. Is the applicant okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. I'll leave it up to the board how much they wish to sort of reinvestigate the testimony and the facts. If you have a good recollection of sort of the facts of the case, you can tell the applicant's attorney that. But certainly I'll turn it over to applicant's attorney now and kind of go from there.
All right, good afternoon. Just as a housekeeping matter, would you like us to tailor our testimony to include some more of the facts that we had discussed last month and kind of re-go over them this month to help refresh the board's memory?
I do have one question before we start. Was there any, because I don't have the package in front of me, was there any change to any of what they're requesting? Are the two things that are required for variance and the recommendations for potential variance the same things that were before?
Yes.
I thought that they had changed slightly. You left.
There is going to be a change. I do have a copy of the application if you would like to have one handy. Okay. Yes. So my name is Summer Panizzo. Panizzo spelled Pannizzo. I'm an attorney at CGA Law here on behalf of the applicants. As a housekeeping matter, again, we are going to withdraw our appeal of the zoning determination letter dated March 11th, 2025, and proceed only on the application for variance from section 1304.01-1.03.001. Which is
That's the one related.
apartment combined with commercial use.
So, let me see if I'm understanding correctly. There were two variances which were, I believe, requested in the alternative,
Yes,
and those are still on the table?
correct. We're proceeding only with the variance from the parking requirement, with apartment combined with commercial use, and the variance from apartment combined with commercial use as it's not a permitted use within the UN2 district.
And so just for the board's awareness, I don't think that the application was advertised to include the use variance to permit the apartment combined with commercial. Having said that, I am of the opinion that really anybody that looks at the agenda or the advertisement is sufficiently aware. I know that nobody's here in the audience tonight, and as long as the applicant is aware that it could create an issue if somebody challenged the notice, but certainly as long as you're okay with moving forward, my recommendation is moving forward.
The applicant is aware and they are okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So, may I proceed? All right. So, section 1304.01-1.03.001 allows for multifamily dwellings to be combined with a neighborhood grocery store. Again, this use is not permitted in the UN2 district, which is the district where the property is located. The building is a 3-story commercial building with a grocery store on the first floor and a residential unit on the second and third floor. For this reasons, we have asked for the variance from the few sections. Today, I have Ara Kwan, the applicant's daughter, to provide testimony regarding the property's use.
Thanks, Summer. So my name is Ara Kwan. It's spelled AHRAKWON. I'm the daughter of Young and Haja Kwan.
And just for the record, you swear that you will accurately interpret the.
Yes.
You're not interpreting anything.
No, yeah, I'm just helping to ensure, yes, my father, yeah. Yep.
Ara, do you have knowledge of the property and its use?
Yes.
And do you have knowledge of the application and the variances requested today?
Yes.
Okay. And where is the property located?
The property is on 300 East King Street in York, Pennsylvania, 1740223. One of.
Is the property a 3-story building?
Yes.
Yep. And what is on the first floor?
It's our neighborhood grocery store. Yeah.
And what is on the second floor?
An apartment unit.
And what is on the third floor?
An apartment unit.
And can you describe the units on the second and third floor?
Yes, both are the same floor plans. They're about 1,300 square feet, and they include a kitchen, living room, bathroom, and 2 bedrooms.
And did your parents request a variance from the city of York to use the property as an apartment combined with commercial use?
No. No, yes, they did, right? Yeah. You're just,
Yes.
redundant question. Yeah.
And will there be any alterations to the exterior, interior of the building in any way?
No.
No. Just to reiterate, the second and third floor are already suited for residential units?
Yes, they are. Yes, they have a separate entrance, and they're both separately assessed for utilities.
The zoning ordinance requires 1.5 off-street parking spaces per dwelling unit. How many parking spaces are at the property?
There is no parking available.
Will your parents be able to comply with this requirement?
No.
So are you requesting a variance from this requirement?
Yes.
Okay. So does the fact that this is an existing dwelling with 2 residential units on the second and third floor and a commercial use on the first floor create a unique physical circumstance on this property?
Yes.
Does that then create a hardship?
Yes.
And would you also agree that the ordinance does not provide for this type of use in this district?
Yes.
And would a variance allow for the reasonable use of the property?
Yes.
And will the variance, if authorized, alter the essential characters of the neighborhood substantially or permanently impair the appropriate use or development of the adjacent property or detriment to the public welfare?
Short answer, no. The property has been suited as a 2-unit on the second floor and the third floor with a commercial use on first floor by the prior owners, and it won't change the essential character of the neighborhood.
And will the variance, if authorized, represent the minimal variance that will afford relief and represent the least modification possible?
Yes.
Of the regulations and issues?
It will.
So we open it up for questions by the board, but we'll reserve the right to provide a summary at the conclusion of the hearing. Correct. The second floor was occupied by actually, no, the second and third floor are occupied by tenants
Currently. Yeah.
currently.
Ms. Cena, can you remember to hit the mic button? Because Franklin said they can't hear you.
So if I remember right from the last meeting, we were talking about the licensing of the second and third floor by the city. And it had not been licensed for a number of years. Is my memory correct?
They was licensed the property as 1 unit, and they was only letting the 1 unit get inspected, and they wouldn't let us into the third floor unit until the inspector came unannounced, and he seen the tenant, and that's how he got access to the third floor, and that's how all this started.
Was that during a period of time when, I believe, if I remember right, a family member lived up there and now it's a non-family member?
Correct. For
No, that
a number
isn't.
of years, there was a family member living in the third floor unit, and then starting in 2024, a non-family member started occupying the third floor unit and has been there ever since.
Monty, do you have testimony or?
Yes, I just don't have it with me because of the hacking situation we have, but the day of that inspection, the inspector was asking them, can they get into that extra unit, and they would not allow it, saying it was just storage. So even if it was owner occupied and they had another unit, in which would be 2 units, and with one being one owner occupied, the inspector still has to go into that owner occupied for safety reasons. So even if it was licensed and inspected the way it was supposed to be, they would have went into both units with no problem. But we kept getting pushed back, and ever since I believe it was 2016, it was always 1 unit. They only went and inspected 1 unit.
Right. Any other questions on the board? Did you want to go ahead and do a summary?
I think all I would ask is, as for the second floor unit, the applicants are up to date with the license requirements and inspections. And moving forward, they have been advised and they now know that the third floor unit needs to be up to date on licensing and inspections. And I know they have been making efforts to make sure the third floor apartment is in compliance.
Yeah, the tenants are on their
Yeah.
way out.
Right. Anyone want to speak?
I'll move to approve a variance for off-street parking requirements as defined in section 1304.01.1.03.00D at 300 East King Street in the UN2 zoning district.
Do we have to say a number? Since it's a requirement to have two, do we need to say they're exempt to have two?
I think you're waiving it because you have none, correct?
Yeah.
No.
So it would just be
Yeah.
a waiver of
Waiver.
the off-street, yep.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's good.
I second it.
All right. So it's been moved to be approved by Mr. Nugent and second by Mr. Holman. Calling for the vote, Mr. Newman.
Aye.
Sorry.
Good enough.
Mr. Abbott,
Aye.
Mr. Holman,
Aye.
and I for Jenkins.
And I will move to approve dimensional variance for apartment combined with a commercial use found in section 1304.01-1.03.001 to add a unit conversion of a neighborhood store and 1 unit into 2 units for the property at 300 East King Street in the UN2 zoning district.
Second.
It has been moved to be approved by Mr. Nugent and seconded by Mr. Holman. Calling for the vote, Mr. Nugent,
Aye.
Mr. Abbott,
Aye.
Mr. Holman. I for Jenkins.
And just to, I think that was for density issues, so just one more, you're tracking on that one, Adam?
No, go ahead.
So this would be, the final motion that would be necessary here would be to simply permit neighborhood combined with a commercial use in the UN2 zoning district, which use is otherwise not permitted by right or by special exception. And if the applicant is okay with him just saying so moved.
We're fine with it.
So moved.
Second.
You can just take the vote. You can just move for it.
All right, calling for the vote, Mr. Nugent,
Aye.
Mr. Abbott,
Aye.
Mr. Holman,
Aye.
and Jenkins, aye.
Congratulations.
Now we can
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Have a
get
great
it up to
evening.
code.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. See now?
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna go to the next case.
Yeah, yep, let's do it.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. The next case is 19-2025-Z-V/SE. The applicant and owner of the property is SPG Capital of 218 Carlisle Street in Hanover. The subject property is located at 325 West Philadelphia Street, which address is located in the UN2 urban residential neighborhood zoning district of the city of. Do I have that right, Monty? UN2? Yes. Okay, sorry about that. The applicant seeks variances and a special exception to permit a multifamily dwelling conversion from a different use. First, the applicant seeks the now relatively common variance that we see regarding the definition of multifamily dwelling conversion from a different use, as well as variances related to the set forth the special requirements for the grant of a special exception regarding parking and vacancy. Finally, applicants seek a special exception to permit a multifamily dwelling conversion from a different use. The case was reviewed by the City of York planning staff. The planning staff recommended denial of all requested variances. The planning staff recommended approval of the requested special exception if all variances are approved. The case was heard by the City of York Planning Commission. The Planning Commission recommended approval. Do I have that right?
Yes.
of all of the requested variances and the special exception. The record before the board this evening consists of the following: the application itself, a time waiver of, a waiver of time limits, the deed to the subject property, an aerial view of the subject property, 2 pages of hand-drawn floor plans, 6 pages of photos of the subject property, and a letter dated April 25th, 2025 from zoning officer McNoy. All right.
Prior to us moving on, before we move on, you had came in after the swearing, so I will need to swear you in. Sure. Raise your dominant hand, please. And do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you? If so, please respond by saying I do.
I do.
Thank you. You can proceed.
Good evening. I am Devin Myers. I'm with CGA Law Firm, and I represent SPG Capital in this application. I'm just going to state the relief we're asking for because I think there's one correction. The special exception is pursuant to section 1303.08A and section 1304.01-1.02.002. That was identified correctly. The variances are sections 1.02.002A and 1.02.002C 1 through 4. The parking variance that was mentioned, we don't need a parking variance, so.
Yeah, that was taken out. We took
Okay.
that out
Okay.
Monday.
I thought I heard parking variance, so we don't need that if it's written anywhere. Okay, this is John Schaefer. Can you state and spell your name for the record?
Yes, I am John Schaefer, JONSHAFFER.
And can you identify the property owner for the property identified in the application?
SPG Capital LLC.
And how are you affiliated with SPG?
I am a managing partner along with my 2 sons of SPG Capital.
And can you provide some background on SPG, what you do, where you do it?
We buy property, renovate property. I've been doing this for 47 years. I have 2 sons that are involved in the operation. They actually run the operation. My job primarily, I do renovation. I run the teams. I'm in the field. I think in New York we have 24 properties. I'm based in central Pennsylvania. We're based out of Hanover. We range anywhere from Chambersburg to Harrisburg to York, Shippensburg, Carlisle, Hanover, and Gettysburg.
And is the subject property located in the city of York, specifically in the UN2 district?
It is, yes.
Can you describe this property?
335 West Philadelphia, I'm familiar with, been there with my team. That property has 2 units. First floor square footage is 998 square foot, has a full kitchen, full bathroom. Second floor is and that's 2-bedroom. Second floor, third floor, that is a 3-bedroom, has a full kitchen, full bathroom.
There are photographs shown on Exhibit D, if you have the application in front of you, and the floor plan is shown on Exhibit C. John, can you tell the board when you purchased the property?
That'd be October 11th, 2021.
And was it structured as a 2-unit when you purchased it?
It was.
Did you know the property was not authorized to be used as a 2-unit at the time of purchase?
We did not.
To your knowledge, had the property been used as a 2-unit building prior to your purchase?
Yes.
And how could you tell?
Based on the utility split, the bathrooms and the kitchens, separate entrances, and the tax record, we felt it was a 2-unit.
The York County website identified it as a 2-unit, correct?
They did, correct.
Okay. To your knowledge, did the prior owners, did they know that the property was not authorized?
No.
You described the units. At this time, are the utilities separated for both units?
No. We pay all utilities currently.
But they are separate.
They are
And-
the separate. I have a copy of the electric, which is first floor, second floor, that's a Med Ed bill. The heat is separate, first floor is electric, second floor is gas, which is one gas meter, that's for the second floor. And there are separate hot water heaters for both floors.
So you won't need to do any work to separate the utilities? Okay. Okay, moving into the special exception criteria, we are requesting a special exception from multiple family dwellings to be converted from a different use. As you all know, the definition is a commercial, industrial, or institutional building that's converted into a residential use. So, John, as stated in the definition, the conversion of any commercial, industrial, or institutional building to be converted to a multiple family dwelling. Is there any commercial, industrial,
No.
or institutional use at this property? Is it currently used for residential?
It is, yes.
Okay. Do you need do you request a variance from the definitions section?
Yes,
Will you alter the exterior or interior of the building in any way?
no,
Will you meet all dimensional landscaping and other applicable requirements of the zoning ordinance, with the exception of those that are included in our variance
yes,
applications? Based upon the zoning officer's calculation, you are permitted to have 2.556 dwelling units on the property. Will you comply with this requirement?
yes,
You are required to provide a minimum habitable floor area of 700 square feet in each dwelling unit. Can you comply with this requirement?
yes,
I'm going to read the specific requirements for the conversion. The first requirement is the building must have been vacant for at least 2 years. The RDA, the Redevelopment Authority of the City of York, must provide a letter of recommendation for the building's use to be converted. A land development plan shall be required, and a traffic study by a professional engineer shall be submitted. Do you comply with those requirements?
yes.
Are we requesting variances
Oh,
for
yes.
those requirements? Yes. With the exception of the RDA letter, Monty, is that provided to the board? Okay. So the RDA did submit a letter in support of the application. They said that there are multifamily units on this property, around this property, and it's, it won't impact parking greatly. So they were in support of the application. The zoning ordinance requires 1.5 off-street parking spaces per dwelling unit. How many parking spaces are at the property?
There are 4,
So do you comply with the parking requirement?
yes,
Okay, for the variances that we are requesting, are there unique physical circumstances or conditions that create an unnecessary hardship for this property?
no,
If I said that the hardship is created by the small size and the existing structure, would you agree with that?
yes,
Would you also agree that the ordinance does not provide for this type of use because it is a conversion from an industrial, commercial, or institutional use?
yes,
Would a variance allow the reasonable use of the property?
yes,
Did you create the hardship?
no,
Will the variance, if authorized, alter the essential character of the neighborhood, substantially or permanently impair the appropriate use or development of an adjacent property, or be detrimental to the public welfare?
am I answering no?
Yes, you're saying yes.
Yes,
Oh, I'm sorry, you're saying no.
I'm saying no.
It will
Okay.
not alter the essential
Right.
character of the
Okay.
neighborhood.
Want to make sure.
As shown in the RDA's letter, it is consistent with the character of this neighborhood. Would you agree that there's a significant need for affordable housing in this area?
Yes,
And your clientele wants a smaller unit versus an entire dwelling?
correct, yes,
Will the variance, if authorized, represent the minimum variance that will afford relief?
yes,
For the special exception, we're going to go through the
general criteria for those. Is the intended purpose of the proposed use consistent with the development objectives established in the York City Comprehensive Plan?
Yes, the property we use for residential use.
Is the proposed use in the best interest of the properties in the general area?
Yes,
Is the proposed use suitable for the property in question?
yes,
Is the property currently adequately serviced by all utilities?
yes,
Will the property provide adequate ingress and egress, off-street parking, and accessibility to the existing city street system?
yes,
Is the proposed use in conformance with all applicable requirements of the zoning ordinance and the subdivision and land development ordinance?
yes,
Will the proposed use substantially increase traffic?
no,
Will the proposed use increase the danger of fire or otherwise endanger public safety?
no,
Will the proposed use overcrowd the land or create an undue concentration of population?
no,
Will the proposed use in any way alter access to or affect light or air in the area?
no,
Will the proposed use adversely affect transportation or unduly burden water, sewer, school, park, or other public facilities?
no,
Is the property in the floodplain?
no.
That concludes John's testimony. If you have any questions for him, we're happy to answer anything.
Sorry. The one question you had about the previous owner, I wasn't sure if you didn't know what his answer was, or the answer was no, the previous owner didn't know anything about.
They knew it was not licensed properly.
Yeah,
What was the answer?
yeah, I would say,
You don't,
I don't know.
You don't know what the
No,
owner knew?
no.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I think when they had purchased it, they just assumed that it was properly licensed because the county's website
Right,
says it's a
okay.
unit.
Yeah,
And the realtor that was involved didn't say anything either. You're in the business for doing this, and it just seems strange after, I think
no,
you
I
said
think it was part of
47.
an 8, that might have been part of an 8-package deal,
Okay,
you know, and, you know.
it just
that's-
never,
That's where we didn't know, you know, off the tax records they looked at when they purchased that.
okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
No, well, because of the rental license, we wanted to make sure. I have one gentleman that all he does is work with rental inspections. He's the manager of rental inspections, and I have a team that does the work in the field. But we did that years ago, especially when we came to York. We felt we had one girl coordinates it, and one gentleman runs that. That's completely separate from our maintenance department. Yeah. And that's where we ran into it. When we applied for the rental license, that's when we ran into this issue.
I had one other question. Looking at the pictures, is that your guys' work, or is that the work that was already done when you bought the place?
Pardon?
The work that's done in the pictures, it looks very nice, by the way.
That's us.
That's you,
us. Like I
okay.
said, I've been doing this for this many years. I'm still very active in the field. I have a 16-member team. That doesn't include maintenance or anyone. They have to feel like home. That's you can ask the rental inspection or guys that come out, they say ours are very nice units. And that's just where I'm at. I make sure that we have a very thorough system we get through.
The only reason I bring it up is that it's great looking work. It just seems like the work was done before all the procedures were put in place, that you didn't know that it wasn't licensed for.
We didn't know the painting and the painting and the flooring.
Right.
Is that unit was in good shape. You know, it had some sets, you know, and that's what we do. We go and repaint, you know, make sure, you know, everything's working properly, faucets, all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
Any other questions from the board?
And one other thing, if you go through York City, and you'll see certain color schemes, and then exterior and interior, and we use 2 color schemes. And when I drive down through York City, I can say, okay, we've been there because it's smoky blue with a yellow door or something. So that's how I identify our properties, is based on color schemes.
That's awesome.
But interior is either repost gray and white or a manual white.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So it's not the bright orange houses that are
No,
on Pine
no,
Street and
no.
all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, if anybody want to?
For case number 19-2025-Z-SE-V at the property at 335 West Philadelphia Street, move to approve, and I may not have all your numbers right, so correct me there, solicitor.
I'm okay with simply approving a definition of multifamily dwelling to permit a multifamily dwelling from a
Okay.
previously single family.
Okay. Okay, there you go. I was just gonna say, okay, there we go. There's the first
We'll
one.
make it easy, I'll second. All right, so it has been moved to be approved by Mr. Holman and second by Jenkins. Calling for the vote, Mr. Nugent,
Aye.
Mr. Abbott. Aye. Mr. Holman,
Aye.
Jenkins, aye.
Okay, move to approve a variance to waive the special exceptions provision of the property that must be vacant for 2 years found in section blah, blah, blah for the property at 335 West Philadelphia in the UN2 zoning district.
And I know that they brought up, Monty, the city typically doesn't require the land development plan on these anyway, but she did address that, so it probably makes sense to at least just clarify that we're also waiving the land development requirement as well as the traffic study.
So be.
Okay, second.
I second. All right, so it has been moved by, it has been approved by Mr. Holman and second by Jenkins. Calling for the vote, Mr. Nugent,
Aye.
Mr. Abbott,
Aye.
Mr. Holman,
Aye.
Jenkins, aye.
And lastly, to recommend or move to approve a special exception to allow multifamily use as defined in section 1304.01-1.02.002 for the property at 335 West Philadelphia Street in the UN2 zoning district.
I second. It has been moved to be approved by Mr. Holman and second by Jenkins. Calling for the vote, Mr. Nugent,
Aye.
Mr. Abbott,
Aye.
Mr. Holman,
Aye.
Jenkins, aye.
Thanks for doing what you do.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Wow.